All right. Hello, everyone. And thank you so much for joining for this mini workshop around the empowerment triangle dynamic, the TED, the power of TED. And yeah, the reason why I want to make this little video is because I get a lot of requests, and I find that this is such a powerful um, understanding that it will most likely blow your mind how simple it actually is, and then also make a huge change in how you experience your life. So I want to make this brief, and then eventually you tell me whether that was already helpful or not. um, Obviously like we can go in depth into this whole thing, but I just want to give you a little overview over this whole idea. So let's see, share screen, and I've had it ready just before. Here we go. And I hope that you can see this. I'm gonna do that and that so I can see myself as well. So I hope that you can see the screen. So Dr. Karpman, back in the days, he was a psychiatrist, and he came up with this uh, drama triangle where he started he started analyzing the dynamics between people and how we live in the world. And he came to realize that we literally live in this dynamic of a drama. And I think we can all relate to the fact that we really do love our drama, don't we? And in that drama triangle, we have three different specific roles. That is one, the victim, we have the persecutor, and we have the rescuer. And these are the three roles that can be played within the drama triangle. Now, obviously, they're not set roles. Like, you're not a dedicated victim or just only a persecutor or only a rescuer. You might have a tendency to one or another, but they tend to shift. So let me explain that to you. Just think of a relationship that's maybe a little bit dysfunctional, right? So you have the woman who feels neglected or used because the husband comes home at night after a long day of work, and doesn't really care about anything that she's done, and just like wants his food, and he puts himself on the couch and whatnot. So this woman probably starts feeling like a victim because she feels mistreated by her partner. And so from her perspective, her partner is then the persecutor, right? So she starts seeing him as a problem, as an issue, as something to blame for her circumstances, because she starts feeling unworthy and uncomfortable or unconfident, whatever. And so she starts having certain reactions. She starts snapping at him. She starts like just throwing the food there. Maybe one night she might not even make food. Um, and so obviously you can imagine that the partner most likely doesn't feel like a persecutor from his perspective, right? So what is he? He most likely starts seeing himself as the victim within this relationship, where his wife starts like not giving him what he deserves, right? After a full day of hard work outside to make money, coming home and then not getting food, like what the fuck? So she becomes the persecutor for him. So they're like in this mismatch, like misunderstanding, like who is who and what. And that's where really the drama starts or unfolds. And then you always have these rescuer personality types. And I think that most of us in here, um, especially as women, we tend to take up this role as a rescuer. And in the role as a rescuer, we feel we don't feel like we're doing something wrong. We're helping, right? Like we're there to take care of the victim, to make sure that they maybe feel safer, or we start bashing onto the persecutor as well, and supporting the victim in their role. But as we play out our role as rescuer, we actually reinforce this idea of victim, of victimhood and drama. And one very important aspect of the rescuer is really that most often the role of a rescuer is taken on because of a sense, like most likely because this person already has been victimized or a victim themselves, so they feel. And then also there's this insecurity or lack of worthiness in this person unless they have somebody to take care of. And that also gives them maybe even a little bit of a hidden and distorted sense of superiority, because they can help this victim, and by helping the victim they reinforce this idea of poor you, right? You need to be relieved of your pain, and yeah, and so that encourages the victim to feel even more like I'm like, poor me, right? I'm feeling powerless. I have no power. I might have lost dreams or whatever. And so that's how it keeps going. And it's really not so much fun to live from this place. One more thing that I need to add here. Now I'm talking in a situation of people, but a persecutor can also be uh, a circumstance, like, I don't know, you get, like, your house gets robbed, or there was a rock in the way and you jammed your foot on it. It can also be a health condition. Persecutor can also be a health condition, meaning maybe you have a diagnosis of cancer, or whatever. Just, that's the only thing that comes to mind right now, but you get the idea. So it can be a circumstance, can be an object, can be something, and it can also be a health condition, right? And so apparently, I might be wrong, but that's how much I got so far. Only came up with this drama triangle, and like started telling people like, oh look, this is how we live our drama. We didn't really give them a solution. And so that's where the empowerment dynamics comes in, which was developed by Mr. Cartman. Let's see, can I get here? Whoop. Whoop, 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 whoop. Where are we? Can you see that? Yes. So Mr. Emerald, David Emerald, is a regular guy like you and me who was going through some hard challenges in his life. And like, he came across the drama triangle and was like, yeah, but like, okay, that's all nice, but what am I doing with this information? What's the solution here? And he started a little journey inwards, and he sat himself down at one point and just like asking like, why is this happening, and what's then the opposite of a victim? Like, how can I get myself out of this? And eventually he discovered he got these intuitions of the opposite roles. And so I just want to come real quick to the underlying state that triggers a certain triangle, so to speak. So obviously most of us live in the drama triangle because, as you may very well know, most of us are not very well regulated in our nervous systems. We have these constant stress factors jamming onto us, which creates this natural fear-based state in our nervous system. That means that our parasympatheticum is parasympatheticus is activated, and we're in a constant fight, flight, or freeze mode, right? So as soon as a trigger, like as something triggering happens, our bodies instantly react. Either it chooses, like it chooses what's the best thing to do, right? Am I strong enough to fight it? Then it will fight. Do I have to flee because I'm not strong enough to fight it? Or do I even have to freeze because there's no way I can outrun it and there's no way I can fight it? So then the nervous system goes into freeze, which is a sense of dissociation in that sense, and numbness, and that leads often to very deep depression. And I mean that's a good instinct, right? If we are in danger, we don't want to have our slow brain having to think first what to do. So we're like actually really blessed to have this autonomic nervous system that just instantly reacts to our environment. It's responsible for our survival. That is the main goal, not logic, not love, not peace, survival. And that's why we go on. That is where the drama, the data drama triangle thrives, right? And now we want to start shifting this. We want to start shifting that. Now let me quickly check. So can I do that? I hope you can still see that. That's a little bit easier for me. And so on the other hand, you have that drama, the empowerment triangle, which requires us to, and I get in a second, I'll go a little bit closer into this, to be really fully operating in this empowerment dynamic. Our bodies need to feel safe. Our nervous system needs to be balanced and well nurtured. So we can actively choose that point of view of the empowerment dynamic, and that also actually feeds our feeling of safety. So they go a little bit like dynamic as well again. But it's definitely helpful to do various exercises to calm the nervous system, like breathing, meditation, mindfulness practices, and also specific exercises that reset the nervous system, like shaking, dancing, walking barefoot, and stuff like that. This is where our nervous system is in rest and digest mode, right? So when we're feeling safe, that's when our body starts digesting and also healing, and it's like it's in an easeful state, in a state of love. And when we are here in this dynamic, life actually starts to become fun, and you start realizing that once you're aware of this concept, like once you know about this, there's no, like, you can't unsee it anymore. You might forget it from time to time for sure, but you can't unsee it anymore. So change your reality. We're going to flip that triangle, right? So we have the dreaded drama triangle. And by the way, David Emerald calls it the dreaded drama triangle, DDT in short, because DDT is some sort of poison. I keep forgetting the name. Fertilizer, right? You probably know. But so the DDT is a poison, and the antidote for the DDT is TED apparently, and so David Emerald, chose the label of the empowerment dynamic so that he could use these three letters. And so, where do I start here? So, from the role of victim, we can flip the triangle, and we can move to the role of a creator. So from poor me, I'm feeling powerless, I have dreams that didn't come true or that were wrecked, I'm feeling denied and rejected. I can move towards another reality, someone who owns their power to choose and respond to certain circumstances in a new and more empowering and helpful way. The creator focuses on outcomes. There's like this I can do it mentality. And then let's go to the persecutor. The persecutor is usually seen as a problem from the victim state of mind. The persecutor dominates, blames, tears down. And so if we start switching our lens and our perspective to the creator role, we no longer see a problem as a problem or a persecutor as a persecutor. We start seeing it as a challenger. And already, like, just that shift of understanding is going to change the world for you. Like, it's going to change the way you experience your everyday life. And yeah, you'll see. So the challenger calls forth learning and growth. It potentially provokes and evokes action. It's conscious constructive, unconscious deconstructive. Yes, so when a challenger is conscious, it's usually constructive, right? If the challenger is unconscious, then he tends to fall back into the persecutor role, like, and which is like deconstructive. And the challenger from his role as well doesn't see like a victim. He sees someone who needs a little nudge to like grow in themselves, right? And here as well, again, it's not only people, it can also be circumstances and things, like an injury. Take my back injury, take my broken back. I was already so set in this idea of the creator, challenger, and coach triangle that I never ever once did I see my back injury as a persecutor. Never ever did I see myself as a victim in this whole story. I saw it as a new challenge. Let's bring it on and see how we can grow with it, right? And then on the other hand, the third part of the empowerment dynamic is the opposite of the rescuer. And that is the part that we are playing really here in this training as well, right? So we learn that a coach doesn't see a victim. A coach sees someone who has the answers already in them, who has the potential to grow, to learn, to become strong and self-empowered again. So a coach supports and assists. He facilitates clarity by asking questions. He asks questions like, how will we do it, right? And so so once you know about the empowerment dynamic, you can no longer unsee it. I just said that. You might forget for moments, but you will be able to remind yourself sooner and sooner, the further, like the more you practice this flipping of the triangle. When you catch yourself as poor me again and seeing problems instead of challenges and potential growth, just flip that fucking triangle. Flip it right around. And practice the different roles consciously, right? And even if the other person lives in a dreaded drama triangle dynamic or reality, you don't have to put yourself into their dynamic. Like, you can operate from your empowered triangle perspective, and you might even find that, let's say, if you have someone who feels like a victim and there's a persecutor and they come to you as a coach, you don't encourage their victim mentality, right? You start seeing them already as a creator. And by you treating them like a creator, they eventually start rising and start seeing their power for themselves as well. Now, where are we? So it's really a matter of perspective at the end of the day. Obviously, the nervous system state in which we are in has a big impact on that. So I put that here again, fear on the left with the drama triangle, and love, safety on the right side for the empowerment triangle. the eye here in the middle for point of view from the perspective. So someone who lives in the drama triangle sees problems, or the other way around, someone who sees a problem, like who only sees problems, he's like instantly in that drama triangle, right? And so we see a problem, and the problem creates anxiety or a certain feeling, and then a feeling creates a behavior, which then reinforces the problem. Eventually, again, it keeps going and going and going. But if we now choose the point of view of the creator starts seeing a vision, a solution, a challenge, right? Challenge to grow. And that triggers a feeling of passion, of like a thriving force, which again leads to certain specific actions, baby steps, which eventually reinforce or lead to that solution and vision. And we've heard that already also in the habit formation, like how we change our identity, right? It's you have an event, a trigger, it leads to a feeling, that feeling leads to an action, behavior, and that eventually leads to your new personality, or to your personality, whether that be a victim or a creator. Cool. So I got really creative, very spontaneously after one session. And yeah, that is just the first draft. Let me know how that lands for you. But how I started seeing it, like we all, I mean, what would life be without drama? No, it's nice to be a little bit into the drama as well. And so we can be, I imagine that we are on top of that ridge, and we have the choice. Every time something happens, we have a choice. We have a choice to put the lens on the point of view of the creator, or the point of view of the victim. And either way, like, it's okay. It's okay to sometimes also be in that dreaded drama triangle, but don't get lost in there. Don't get lost in there. Always try to move and focus onto the ease and the empowered feeling. Again, you have the fear and the love basement underneath those. Then the event, feeling, action, reminder. Here on the left side, we have the sympathetic nervous system being activated, meaning we're like in fight, flight, or freeze mode. And here on the right side is the parasympathetic nervous system is activated, specifically the ventral vagal. And if you've never heard that term, don't worry too much about it yet. Maybe go. I need to make that link. The ventral vagal comes from the polyvagal theory, which debranches the nervous system not only into what we have been knowing about the nervous system being parasympathetic, fight, flight, freeze mode, or sympathetic being fight, flight, or freeze mode, or parasympathetic being the rest and digest mode. There is a few more branches there, and it's really fucking interesting to learn a little bit about that. I might make another video on that, but yeah, for now, don't worry too much. Underneath that, again, is intentional identity shift, right? And then I have these two exercises, or how you can practice to shift your point of view, and to shift from the fight, flight, freeze mode into a safety mode, from the parasympathetic nervous system. And that one is the beach pose. That's actually a really, really simple pose where you lay flat on the floor or on the bed. You can also actually do it seated. You interlace your fingers, thumbs up, and then you place your hands onto the skull, just behind your head, and either just do it from here or lay down, and then keep your nose pointing straight forward or straight up. And in the same time, you start looking with your eyes to the far left corner of your eyes, And you hold it there just for about 30 to 60 seconds. For most people, especially if you start, it can be very uncomfortable. And then you just wait for for an automatic nervous system reset, which is usually shown as a yawn, spontaneous yawn, a sigh, or a deep swallow. And then once the 30 seconds, 60 seconds is passed, or you had that automatic response already, you can shift your gaze to the other side and then wait there again for 30 to 60 seconds, or until spontaneous nervous system reset is done with like a yawn. For me, it's always a yawn. Sometimes it's a swallow or a sigh. And also do daily visualizations, like start seeing reoccurring events that trigger you in a bad way, that make you feel like a victim. Start visualizing them and start visualizing this event and think of how would an empowered you act there? How would you act, react, respond if you were feeling safe, if you were feeling worthy, if you were feeling supported? And you start visualizing that. And it's probably not going to change the next day, but over time, you are rewiring your brain for new reaction potential, for new response potential. And yeah, and so daily choice of orientation, that's really like a key thing. Like every morning you wake up, choose to put the lens of the creator on, or a challenger or coach, whatever you want to be. Yeah, and that's basically already it. I have put here a few resources. So on one, you can find a website. Just type in the power of TED or the empowerment dynamic. You'll find it. The book can be found, and the audiobook. The book is about 20 pages, 200 pages, with big letters. It's like super small. It's a super easy read, and the audiobook is like 2 hours, and it's such a beautiful story. It's so well told. It's relatable, and because it's so relatable, it has such a deep like effect on you. You will see. And even throughout the book, there are questions and suggestions to also for the reader to start looking at certain things and to ask certain questions to themselves. And then here I just finish it up with a few empowering mantras that would be chosen from a creator perspective. I am a creator, or I am the creator. I am a co-creator, hero, whatever feels empowering to you there, whatever feels true. I am powerful. I am in charge. Peace starts within. So not giving the responsibility or the power to my outside circumstances for me to feel peace, but to actually generate it from inside. I am responsible. It's my choice. Responsible. I'm able to respond in whatever way I choose. Strength and power is built over time. So don't rush your process. Don't get frustrated if you don't get it within a month or two. Maybe it takes a year. Maybe it's going to take 2 years to really integrate it. But it's definitely worth to put in the time and the effort to get there. And you will. Constant daily practice is very, very, very important. Mental rehearsal. So again, that's that visualization. Every day, calm down your nervous system. Find ways to nurture yourself, to take a bath, to do some yoga, to meditate, to dance, to connect with others, to co-regulate. There's so many ways to feel that sense of ease and peace within every day, so that our body can go into rest and digest and heal. Daily train your body for discomfort. This one is a very, very powerful one as well, and one that might not be for everyone from the beginning, but I dare you try it. Things like cold showers, cold plunges, fasting, learning something new to put yourself into an uncomfortable state can really, really, really help. to just, yeah, strengthen your character, strengthen your power over your body. Then you have um, true peace and freedom is not a physical state, it's a mental state. So that goes back into this power of the creator, choosing how you want to see the world around you, and know that peace and freedom really comes from within and not from your outside circumstances. And then the last one, I always have a choice of how to look at things or my life. Yes, yes. So that's about it from me for now. Let me get back out here again. So I hope that this was more or less clear, that this stirred a few aha moments within your understanding, within your body. And I would love to hear from you, like what comes up. If this is easy for you, if this is really, really difficult, if this was very understandable or very, very much not so. So let me know. It definitely was a little bit longer again than I anticipated, but it's okay. So thank you very much. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know how it goes as you move throughout these next days and weeks. And feel free to catch up with me, to message me and check in with me and have a conversation around it. I would love to work with you on that, because it has been a game changer. Like literally. It's just, once you start understanding this and you integrate it in your body and your just default mode of being, life gets fun. And there's moments when you get a little bit overwhelmed, and maybe you didn't take care so much of your nervous system, and so you're in a more intense state, that when a big trigger comes, you might be thrown off, even though you know all about the empowerment dynamic. And you might need a friend of yours to like just remind you of, like, dude, you have the power, right? Like, you don't have to be a victim. But yeah, try it on. Thank you very much, and be well.